Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and today I bring you another Who Would Win battle for my Who Would Win battle series. Basically, I know it's kind of early, specifically I like to wait until the week's over to practically, give you another Who Would Win battle, seeing as how it hasn't been like an official week since my Wonder Woman vs. Android 18 fight, which if you've not seen that video, definitely go to my channel to check it out, and there more than likely will be a link at the end of this video or what have you. But nevertheless, seeing as how I won't get the chance to upload this later this week, I'll just upload it today, so that's pretty much the main focus and main reason as to why I'm doing this right now. But overall, I really wasn't planning on doing this, but nevertheless, I do have a good number of requested fights to do, so I guess it makes sense to start speeding these things up again. I'm not saying I'm gonna go straight up to doing like 2 a week, because I doubt I'll be able to accomplish that. But I just love these requests. I mean, the requests I've been getting are pretty interesting. I love these requests. I mean, some of them are, so crazy that I wouldn't even do. Like, there's a couple that I'm going to be putting out that I would have never have thought to actually put those types of characters together. And it's going to be crazy. But nevertheless, today's a requested fight for 2 specific characters ranging from video games and anime. Of course, I'm talking about Silver Sonic the Hedgehog versus Mewtwo. So, Silver Sonic the Hedgehog, or Silver if you will, is of course from the Sonic series, and Mewtwo is of course from the Pokemon series. And to be completely honest, I really don't know how to do this specific fight because I'm not the best guy to do this, do these type of characters, because for one, like Sonic, I haven't been a fan of Sonic in forever. I'm not even a fan right now. Like, the Sonic series as a whole, I really don't care about it. I mean, like, I don't play any of the games. I don't watch or subscribe to any of the other types of bullshit content they put out. I played Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis years ago, and I used to watch, I guess, like, that 80s or 90s animated series they did of Sonic, and that was pretty much it. That was my only real, connection to the series of Sonic as a whole. So there's my brief knowledge of that one. And then on the Mewtwo thing, on the Pokemon side, I have not freaking watched Pokemon since the 90s, I think. Like, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s is like officially the last time I watched anything Pokemon, officially. So yeah. On both sides, I'm kind of like, I'm going into this as a fresh mind. So, of course, for anybody who's like hardcore into Sonic, hardcore into Pokemon, and everybody's gonna go crazy and start bullshitting and like go nuts in the fucking comment section, go Michael Keaton nuts. Just remember, keep this in mind, I'm not a hardcore Sonic guy, and I'm not a hardcore Pokemon guy. I mean, like, if I did this back in the 90s, I might be more equipped to do it, but as of right now, I'm just doing it as a fresh, it's a fresh take on the thing. It's not a hardcore in-depth like I do with my normal stuff, but my normal Who Would Win battles. So for anybody who gets pissed off at me, just keep that in mind. I'm not a hardcore Sonic fan, and I'm not a hardcore Pokemon fan. I actually don't really like either franchise as it is, so it's just the way it is. But I'm doing this specifically right now, mostly due to the fact because I was requested to do it, and I love doing videos that I get requested to do, because there's a lot of requests that once again, like, I never thought I would ever end up doing, because they're so, like, out of the realm of what I was trying to go on. Like I'm just saying, like, if the next couple of Who Would Win battles that I'm going to be doing, those are, like, the #1 specific fights that I never thought of putting characters together. Especially this one fight, which is going to be hysterical. But nonetheless, let's talk about Silver and Mewtwo. Let's start off with Silver's powers and abilities. Well, basically, Silver is a futuristic character from the Sonic universe. He's essentially from the future, and he has you know, he's basically just like the various other characters in the Sonic universe. He's an anthropomorphic silver hedgehog from the future, 200 years into the future, if you will. And sometimes some things happen in the future that has some kind of catastrophic, disastrous elements, and he basically goes through time to protect everything that went wrong. He goes to the past, the future, the present, just basically preventing terrible things to happen, and of course rearranging things the way they should happen. So it's a very interesting new take on the Sonic characters. Once again, Sonic characters kind of have the same kind of design and abilities, but the difference with Silver Sonic the Hedgehog, or Silver the Hedgehog, if you will, he has this specific power which is called psychokinesis. Which is basically telekinetic abilities, telekinesis, if you will, and it's basically his main power source, and it's the main thing he actually uses for anything. I mean, like his psychokinetic powers manipulate environments. He obviously can control things with his mind, and he's a master at the specific skill. And also, with the psychokinetic ability, he can, of course, levitate off the ground and fly. Hasn't really been seen to move at super speeds like Sonic or Shadow or other characters like that. But it's been shown that in future games, recent games, if you will, that he's been able to do such things. And because of his psychokinetic powers, if I'm even saying that correctly, once again, not a hardcore Sonic guy, he can basically move just as fast as Sonic just by flying through the air. And of course, he can use his power to warp space and teleport himself to distances instantaneously. And of course, he's not really a physical being. Of course, most Sonic characters aren't really that physical. They obviously have to, other than their super-powered speed, they're not really fighting type characters, if you will, but they're also incredibly physically capable of doing such things. And of course, they're very durable characters. He's also been seen to be very acrobatic and agile. He also has demonstrated powers from where he can basically, I don't know if I want to call it energy blast, but basically with his psychokinetic ability, he can use that power to essentially shoot some kind of energy based attacks to his opponents. So that's essentially the general gist of where that comes from. But overall, the psychokinesis is his main mode of transportation, and he has various weaknesses like his hot temper, his simple-mindedness, and of course his naivete, and he also has the ability to become Super Sonic, Super Silver, if you will, by using the Chaos Emeralds. For this specific fight, I won't be using this Chaos Emerald, so I'm gonna scratch the whole super transformation thing out of the realm of possibility. So basically, we'll just be using his most famous basic power, which is the psychokinesis, where essentially gives him the ability to do anything. He can teleport, he can go through time, he can levitate, he can fly, he can shoot these power waves using the telekinesis. He can obviously move things with his mind. He's a very powerful being, and from seeing his specific fights or battles, it's kind of hard to judge his physical ability with opponents, because Sonic characters, the Sonic storyline is essentially like you're just trying to catch rings. And I've seen the gameplays, and I don't know, it's hard to really say who would really technically win. But based off details, it's hard to say how anybody can beat this guy. But anyways, let's move off the Mewtwo. Mewtwo, once again, I'm really out of the realm of my element here, because once again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I have not watched Pokemon in years. Like, I think the last time I watched anything Pokemon legitimately as a serious fan was, the late 90s, early 2000s. So, and Mewtwo was a very interesting character nonetheless. He was obviously a created mutation of the original Pokemon Mew, used for a Red Rocket, if I'm not mistaken. He was used scientifically to formulate their kind of agenda, and basically went rogue, and essentially went on a game plan of his own to do whatever he wanted to do, and he obviously is a psychic Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. He has telekinesis and telepathy, very similar to Silver. Unfortunately, there's not really a long list of his abilities, and once again, not a hardcore Pokemon fan, so if I let anything out of Mewtwo's forte, then of course I know all you hardcore Pokemon fans will rant in the comment section below. So, nonetheless, Mewtwo obviously uses his telepathy to verbally talk to beings. As we all know, the Pokemon characters can't really talk. They're kind of like cats and dogs, essentially, of the anime universe. They can only speak in their fucking first name, and somehow everybody understands them. It's like R2-D2 all over again. So that's essentially what they can do. But Mewtwo, on the other hand, can telepathically talk to beings and humans nonetheless. He's also extraordinarily powerful, extremely durable, very strong. He can fly. I think he can fly greater lengths than Silver, but overall he has the same basic abilities. He can block special attacks. He can create force fields. Very similar to Silver, he can also use his telekinesis to kind of create some kind of energy waves, based attacks, if you will, as I've seen so far from various fights with Mewtwo. And of course he can use his telekinetic powers to levitate things, and of course control other environmental objects with the power of his mind. So essentially, Silver and Mewtwo are kind of the same kind of character, just from different, franchises. The only difference is one's a hedgehog and one's a alien-looking humanoid Pokemon creature, whatever the heck, I don't know. Nevertheless, let's get right down into this fight. Once again, not a hardcore fan of either one of characters, so it's hard to say who I think could win. But overall, based off all their attacks, it's definitely fair game, and it's definitely a coin toss. That's kind of like the best thing I can say. For one, Pokemon characters, based off my knowledge, I don't know about Pokemon characters today, but back in the day, and this includes Mewtwo, Pokemon characters get worn out very easily. Like, Pokemon characters cannot last. I mean, like, through training, they can become more fierce characters and fierce opponents, but overall, Pokemons are freaking weak. I mean, like, they get tired out so easily, and they can take down a lot of damage. They're very durable creatures, but God, they can take damage like crazy and get weakened so easily. So it's hard to say that Mew, with all his great power, I like to think of it as like this. It's like Mew is naturally powerful, and Silver is technically powerful. Like, in the sense of, like, Mewtwo was designed specifically to be naturally powerful, and Silver was like, he worked hard to be as powerful as he is. And his psychokinesis, I don't know why, but for some reason I really want to say it's more powerful than Mewtwo's telekinesis. I just really think so. I mean, like, telepathy is not going to really help in this situation. It's not really going to make any type of effect. His telekinetic abilities is definitely a coin toss, because I like to think that they're both equally strong, but I'm heading a little bit more towards Silver based off what I've seen him do and stuff. And at the end of the day, Mewtwo's flying abilities are way better than Silver, so he definitely is faster than him on air, but on foot, I don't really know. I mean, like, I just think that this is pretty much how I can see anything happening with these two characters, is like, Mewtwo, right out of the gate, he's going to destroy. He's going to create force fields, because Silver's going to go right at him. Okay, he levitates, goes straight at him in super speeds. Mewtwo has the force fields. He's taking damage. He's shooting down energy waves. His telekinesis. He's shooting down, environmental rocks and boulders towards his way. Okay, sure. Silver's taking all the damage. And let's say, for the sake of the argument, that Silver gets tired out. He gets fatigued, if you will. He needs some rings. I really don't want to talk about that, because the first thing is the ring debacle. The rings, the Sonic characters need rings to basically energize themselves, so, okay. But let's say, for the sake of the argument, he doesn't need the rings in this one fight. Or maybe, just for the sake of the argument, there's like thousands of rings surrounding Mewtwo. Okay, fuck it. he gets the rings, he's back in action again. He's levitating, he's flying in the air, they're both fighting, they're kicking ass, they're using their telekinesis. I just think, at the end of the day, it's a coin toss. Either one of these characters could win. I've seen both of their fights, and even though I want to go towards Silver, they're both basic equals. You know, and that's just, as an outsider looking in, that's just my personal opinion. Mewtwo may look cooler, and he may have more of a popular crowd towards him, but I like to go for the underdog. And Silver, even though he's not weak, I'd like to think he's the strongest possible character in the Sonic series. Could be. I don't know. Maybe there's a more powerful character in the Sonic series. But for me personally, they're kind of like the same in power levels. And Silver's kind of like more powerful in his universe. And Mewtwo, I don't know. I can't really consider him the strongest psychic Pokemon in Pokemon series. So there's that. But overall, it's just a huge coin toss, people. I know you guys want more detail, but overall, telekinesis, they're kind of equals, but I want to say Silver has a little bit more of an edge. On air, Mewtwo will just dominate him. Based off power overall, it's also a coin toss, but I also want to just go towards Silver. So at the end of the day, without overly aggravating Pokemon fans, I think at the end of the day, Silver wins. I say Silver's the winner, and that's just based off, you know, bullshit logic, if you will. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're biased, you don't know anything you're talking about. I really don't, because I don't know anything about Pokemon and Sonic characters at the end of the day. I'm not the hardcore Pokemon fan as I used to be. I'm just saying, if we did this back in the early 2000s, I could have done more enthusiastic job. But overall, based off all the stuff that I've seen both characters do, it's just a huge coin toss. You know, it's one thing to do, like, the Wonder Woman Android 18 fight, because even though I like those characters equally, I kind of get the feeling that it's also a coin toss, but I can see the weaknesses and advantages in how the character I said could win. On this fight, it's really hard to say how any character would win overall. It's really hard, you know, because it's a huge coin toss. Each character is equally great. They're both very powerful characters from their respected universes. Mewtwo may have more of an edge, but at the end of the day, Pokemon characters get taken down so easily, and as powerful as Mewtwo was, he's not really the strongest psychic Pokemon of his universe. And Silver Sonic, he's kind of really, I've seen him do several things, and he's kind of really dominated Sonic in that series. So I don't know, I guess I want to go more towards Silver as the winner in this one, and that's pretty much what I did. But anyways, in the comment section below, it doesn't matter what I personally give out, it's what you personally think. The overall point of these battles is to give out the personal topic of, like, who do you think would win? Who do you think will win between Silver versus Mewtwo? I mean, like, I personally say I'm moving more towards Silver, but let me know what you personally think between the two. And, of course, for all these Sonic/Pokemon fans that were overly aggravated by anything I may have stated, I hope I didn't overly offend you. And, of course, like I stated, I'm not a huge fan of either franchise, so if I got anything wrong or if I missed anything out, please let me know in the comment section below without sounding too condescending, of course. But overall, I really thank the YouTuber for requesting this. I enjoy these requested videos. Because it just means that I get to push over that Goku versus Superman fight just a tad farther than it should be. But overall, it is going to come, but just not right now, hopefully. But nevertheless, I do have a couple good request videos that I'll be getting into, which, of course, I'm going to hint next week, or whenever I get the chance to do another Who Would Win battle. I'm going to be doing Toph from the Avatar series versus Gaara of the Naruto series. So I hope you guys be on the lookout for that. I was requested, once again, and that was one of the requests. And I kind of see why I was requested to do that. I mean, like, I'm basing that on the fact that of the Screw Attack thing. Screw Attack fucks over another anime character, and everybody in the anime fan community is basically going on a rager. So I can see why I was requested to do that, but I guess you're just going to have to wait to see what happens in that fight later on in the following week to know my personal thoughts on that. But at the end of the day, people, I hope you guys personally enjoyed this specific fight. Once again, it's a subjective video. If you did not enjoy or get anything out of it, I'm sorry, but it's all subjective. It's all coming from the mind of a psychotic, basically. And plus, if you have any personal interest on requesting me to do any videos you think would be pretty epic on character verses, let me know in the comment section below. What kind of characters from anime, comic books, video games, movies, television do you think would be awesome in a Who Would Win battle? And I'll get to that later on when I get the chance. And of course, and also in the comment section below, let me know what you personally thought overall between these two characters. Who do you think would win between a fight between Silver versus Mewtwo? I say Silver, but let me know what you personally think. Once again, it's a huge coin toss on who would win. But overall, the more important thing is getting out the topic, and of course letting you guys have the voice on saying who do you think would personally win. And of course in the comment section below, let's keep everything simple. Let's kind of keep everything in good terms. I don't want to have everybody going on a war against each other, you know, saying like how one character would win against another character. Let's keep everything fun and entertaining in the comment section below. Let's not try to, you know, kill each other, get to each other's throats. If you catch my drift. But overall, I just hope you guys enjoyed. This has been my personal thoughts on the fight between Silver versus Mewtwo. Next time I give you Gara versus Toph. Hope you guys check that out. And I hope you guys subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Check out my Wonder Woman versus Android 18 fight. And I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.